Okay, so step 3, you actually get to go and do some running. Now I'm sure most of you will have been doing a bit of running and a bit of jogging anyway, and then hopefully incorporating these drills and the exercises in and around your running. But I'm going to show you now the science of how to run quicker. Now, it makes sense. If you run at the same speed all the time, your body will get good at running at the same speed all the time. So, you need to run at different speeds. You think, oh, what speeds do I need to run at? How am I going to do that? Well, this is how. You run a mile, and you run this mile effort pretty quick. So you're out of your comfort zone, and you're working quite hard. We run a 3-mile event every month, so if you want to come and test yourself out on that, just get in touch with us and we can give you the details for that. Now, you run your mile time, and now if you're training for a 5-kilometre event, okay, what you do, you plus 1 second for every 100 metres, okay, of that mile. So, say for example, if you've run a mile in 10 minutes, okay, and that's your pretty much one-off best effort mile effort, you couldn't repeat that in 10 minutes time or 20 minutes time because you're too tired. You'd add, if you're running at 5k pace, you'd add a second for every 100 metres. So, 10 minutes for the mile. If you were to go and run at 5k pace, so if you were to do some kilometre efforts, for example, you'd need to run at 10-16 minute mile pace. If that makes sense, hopefully. So if I say to you, go and do 3-minute efforts at 5k pace, and you've run a 10-minute mile, your 5k pace would be 10-16 minute miling. If you're doing work at 10k pace, you need to add 2 seconds to every 100 metres, so it would be an extra 32 seconds to your mile effort. Okay, and that's the speed you should be able to maintain 6 miles for. So if you've run 10 minutes for a flat out mile, it would be 10:32 is your 10k pace, if that makes sense. And so it goes on. Half marathon, add 4 seconds. Full marathon, you add 6 to 8 seconds. And that's how you go on. Now, to improve your 10k time, you need to do a bit of work at your half marathon pace and a bit of work at your 5k pace. So you're going above and below the speed you want your body to be able to operate at. This is quite important stuff because, like I said, if you're always running at the same speed, then you're never going to get any quicker. Now, if you're just going out and doing aimless intervals, that's not specific enough for your needs and how your body's able to work. This is a formula that works and you'll be able to stick to. And the stronger you get and the better you get at all of this, the faster this becomes, the faster this becomes, the faster this becomes, the faster this becomes, etc., etc., etc. And so it goes on. So that is the key formula to running faster and at the right speed. Now, you won't always be running at a full marathon, half marathon, 10k or 5k pace. Some days you just go out and you just do an easy jaunt. Well, how fast should you be able to do that, for example? Well, that should be 2 to 3 minutes slower than you can run for a flat out mile. So if you can run a flat out mile in 9 or 10 minutes, you should be looking at running easy, so your body's recovering, at 11 to 12 minute mile pace, which will feel very, very easy, but it should feel easy. So it's just a good way of gauging. But obviously the faster everything gets, all your base pace comes down, your 5k pace comes down, your mile speed gets quicker, etc., etc., etc. Now you think if you're trying to train for a 5k, and let's say, for example, you want to run inside an hour, a 10k, and you want to run inside an hour for 10 kilometres, that's approximately 10 minute miling. Now, if your 5k time's only 30 minutes, that's going to be very, very hard to achieve because you're basically saying, right, I'm going to run flat out for 5k, then I'm going to run flat out for another 5k without any rest. So, if you want to run 60 minutes for this, you need to be able to run 27, 28 minutes for the 5k. So it all has a knock-on effect to what you're doing. I hope that's helpful, and this is the formula you need to stick to.